Rust City kids, hi. I am so excited to see you. Can you believe it's already Christmas time? Oh boy, I don't know if you know, but I love Christmas. It's such a special time. And I love my family, it has so many fun traditions. One of my favorite traditions is reading Christmas stories with my family. And you know what my favorite Christmas story is?
Donna Jean, what are you doing?
I was just asking our friends their favorite Christmas story book to read.
Aren't we supposed to be like singing and dancing? We have a very busy morning ahead of us, remember? Earth to Donna Jean, are you in there? Hello?
Yeah, sorry. I am here. Your outfit just caught me a little off guard, but you know, you look, fantastic.
Right? These are my super special Christmas jammies with some of my favorite Christmas time accessories.
Of course they are. Oh, well, we definitely circle back to your super special outfit later. In the meantime, Rust City kids, Zach was right. We have no time to waste this morning. Lots to do, learn, talk about. So why don't we stand up and get ready to worship together? After all, Christmas has special ways of reminding us how blessed we are to have faith in Jesus and a relationship with him. Come on, let's go.
Water, I won't go under, I won't drown. And when I'm in over my head, I know that you won't let me down. And when I'm broken and down to nothing, I know that you are always up to something good. Valley, you go before me, you are here. For I know you'll never leave me, your love surrounds me, I won't fear. When I'm broken and down to nothing, I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. It's not that you love
Ah, why is this so hard? Just remember, Zach, you don't need any help. You can do this all by yourself. Let's go!
Are you sure you don't need help with that?
Yes, I'm absolutely, positively sure. No help needed here. I'm practically a rapping champ. Natural, if you will.
Right. Anyways, hey there, Rust City kids. And hello again to you, Zach. Do you know what today is? It's super big, important, fun day.
Yeah, it is, but we can't get started until I wrap this present.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Well, because presents are the most important part of Christmas, and well, I need to have all my presents wrapped for all my friends and family before the big day.
Zach, I don't know if you know everything about Christmas, but do you know that presents are not the most important part of Christmas?
Are you sure?
This is something that I'm absolutely, positively sure about. You see,
Okay, well, hang on, wait. Then what is it, huh? Like, what could be more important than presenting a beautifully wrapped gift to your best friend with a big bow? I mean, just imagine it. They'd be happy, you'd be happy. They'd have like something new and fun just for them. Like, there's so many fun.
Well, that is fun and part of Christmas. It isn't the most important part. I mean, I don't know that I can buy gifts for all of my friends and put big fancy bows on them, but I do know something I can share with them.
Is it a big fancy Christmas meal? Or is it maybe a gift that isn't wrapped?
No. You see, this is something kind of simple. This Christmas, I want to share a story with everyone, and it's a pretty good one because it reminds me a lot of Jesus and that Christmas story and having faith.
What's so special about a story?
Well, you see, this story is super special because my parents read it to me every single Christmas, sometimes even more than once. And when we read it, my mama teaches me a lot about the story. Oh, I know. I could share the story with you and our friends and see what you think. Maybe you'll decide it's even cooler than a big gift or fancy parties.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll give it a try.
All right, let's do this. First, let's get comfy.
Wow. Okay, I'm ready.
Wait, we aren't quite ready. I almost forgot our big idea. I don't know where I left it. Where did you put it?
Donna Jean, I think I found it. And, it's a little wet, but, it says, Jesus gives us access to God through faith. What does that mean?
Well, I think this book might help us. Can I read it now?
Oh, yeah, this is fine with me. Go ahead.
I present to you, finally, drumroll please, The Polar Express, written by Chris Van Allsburg. One Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound my friend had told me about. I had never heard before the ringing of Santa's sleigh. There's no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not the ringing of bells. But from outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and I saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes lightly fell around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest and looked up at my window, put my slippers and my robe on. I tiptoed down the stairs to the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. "Well," he said, "are you coming?" Where?" I asked. "Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard.
All right, I'm a little confused. Santa sleigh bells, a train. Where did this conductor guy come from?
Okay. I can tell it is a little bit confusing at first, but if I continue to read, we'll find out. Essentially, this little boy and some of his friends tell him that he's being silly, basically, for believing in Santa, and that would never, ever hear Santa's sleigh bells ring. But on Christmas Eve, he did hear something. The Polar Express train ran by this gentleman, our conductor, and pulled out right in front of his house.
Well, what happens? Does he get on the train? The bells start ringing?
Well, we have to keep reading if you want to find out what happens, silly. Let's get back to it. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and as rich as melted chocolate. Outside, the lights of the town and the village flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon there was no more lights to be seen. We traveled through the cold, dark forest where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon, but the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills. The hills turned into snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice. The great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. "There," said the conductor, "is the North Pole."
Wait a sec. They actually went to the North Pole? What's happening? It sounds like it was at least a nice ride.
Ah, yes, Zach. It was a nice ride, a long journey. The little boy got on the train out of faith that he knew something that others did not. He was believing in Santa and that Santa would come through. So he got on the mystifying train, in hopes he would actually make it to the North Pole to see Santa.
Oh, I see. Does Santa really live at the North Pole?
Well, Zach, I honestly don't know where Santa lives. Maybe, but our story has some hidden meanings. It's not really going to be about Santa and the North Pole. Oh, wait a second.
Well, where are they hiding?
Oh, Zach, they're hiding in the story. Should we keep reading to find out about them?
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Thanks. But you know, in the Christmas story, in the Bible, there were shepherds who were watching their sheep when suddenly an angel stood before them and God's light shined all around. The angel said, "Do not be afraid. I bring joyful news to all people. Today in Bethlehem, a Savior has been born. He is lying in a manger." So the shepherds rushed to Bethlehem. They didn't know for sure that Jesus would be there, but they had faith and hope. And that's what the angels said were true.
Whoa. So angels just showed up and told them they started heading there?
Sure did.
Wow. I'm sure they weren't expecting that while they were watching their sheep, just like that. little boy wasn't expecting a train to pull up to his house on Christmas Eve.
Exactly just like that. Let's keep reading and find out what happens next in the Polar Express. The North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. They gather at the center of the city, said the conductor. That is where Santa will give the first Christmas gift. Who will receive the first gift? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look! Shouted one of the children. The elves! Outside, we saw hundreds of elves as our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole. We slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped, and the conductor let us out.
Whoa. So, like, they were actually there at the North Pole. Those kids had faith and went and hoped they'd see Santa. But, like, do they actually get to see Santa? Did the shepherds actually get to see Jesus?
We shall see, Zach. All in good time.
Then suspense is killing me. Read, Donna Jane, read.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. Okay. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of the large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, the ringing of the silver sleigh bells that hung from the harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I had ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart, and Santa appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and pointed to me.
Ho, 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 let's have this fellow here.
He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee, and he said,
Now, what would you like for Christmas?
I know that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing that I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell off the reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood, held the bell high above him, and cried out,
Ho, ho, the first gift of Christmas.
A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared into the cold, dark polar sky.
He could have any present, like any present at all, and chose a little bell. A teeny tiny little bell.
He didn't. Do you know why?
No, I have no clue whatsoever. I have no idea why he would pick that. Like, why wouldn't you pick like the biggest Lego set in the world? Or like something really cool and awesome, like maybe even my own special train to take trips on. But not a bell.
Whoa, this bell was not any ordinary bell. It was really cool and awesome, Tim. It was actually so special because he had finally experienced what he had faith in and hoped in. He believed Santa was real, and he believed he would see him. And so he wanted this reminder of when he started to doubt what he believed. He could look at that bell and remember what he had experienced.
Oh, well, we can put it like that. I guess it makes sense. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to have faith in something you can't see or something you forget about. Wait, did the shepherds get to meet baby Jesus?
Right, and yes, they did. He was in the manger. They were so excited that when the shepherds returned to their sheep, they told everyone what they had seen and heard.
It's too bad they couldn't have had like a special bell to remind them.
Well, yeah, but they were so excited they wouldn't forget anytime soon. And even if we don't have special bells to remember things, we have other ways of remembering.
Like what?
Well, when I have things I want to look back on, I write them down or draw pictures in my journal. That way, when I get discouraged or start to forget, I can always look back.
I like that. I may just do that. But hey, what happens now? So like Santa took off for the night, but like what did the train full of kids do?
Yes, let's see. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked me to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. Oh, let's hurry outside and look for it, one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home.
No! Not the bell. He lost his bell. I'm so sad. What's he going to do now? His very special gift is gone forever and ever.
It's okay, Zach. It's okay. Really, there's more to the story. He may have lost the bell for now, but remember, he just had this awesome experience. He'd still have faith without having something physical to remind him to have it.
What do you mean? I know he talked about writing things down, but he couldn't have written that down just yet. It just happened.
Well, sometimes I forget to write things down that are really cool things God does in my life, but I still have faith in him. Part of having faith is believing in something you can't see or touch.
Oh, right. So he doesn't need the bell, but it was just nice to have.
Exactly. This was nice to have. The shepherds didn't have a bell, but they still had faith, even when they couldn't see the angel or the baby in the manger anymore.
Okay, if you say so. I'm starting to doubt how good this story is.
Well, let's continue to restore your hope. It broke my heart to lose that bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. What? I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth.
Merry Christmas!
He shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell! There was a note.
Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket.
Signed,
Mr. C.
I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad."
Yes,
Said my father.
it's broken.
When I shaken that bell, my parents couldn't hear a sound.
So he got the bell back even though he didn't really need it?
Right, he got it back and had his reminder.
Well, what was all the hearing the bell ring or not about? I mean, that part was a little confusing. How does that relate to the real Christmas story?
So he believed and had faith, so he could hear that bell. But his parents didn't believe anymore, so they heard nothing. They could see the bell, but they could not hear it, kind of like with Jesus. If you don't believe in him, you may not be listening to hear from him. You may see good things happening in the world, but you may not connect them to Jesus or God. Faith is giving us access to Jesus and to hear from him, even if it is something that we can't literally hear. It can be something that we can see or hear through a friend. Faith gave this boy access to hear the bell's noise.
Okay, so God may not talk to me in a big booming voice just because I have faith, but he may talk to me through you or through something good happening. Like that one time it was supposed to rain for my birthday party, but we prayed and then it didn't. And it was beautiful and sunny. And well, we got to use the bounce houses.
Yeah, just like that. The book goes on to say, one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear the sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me as it did for all those who truly believe.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I guess the whole Jesus coming to earth and giving us a relationship with God to have access to him through faith is much better than a big gift with a pretty bow.
I thought so. Christmas is such a big deal because, just like you said, if Jesus never came, we would never have access to God that we do. And with access through faith changes everything. And we can write experiences about God down so that we have something special, like a bell, to remind us of how good God is and who we have faith in when things are tough or we just start to forget.
I have a great idea, John and Jean. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Well, don't leave me hanging on the edge of my seat. Tell me.
What if for gifts, we make little journals for our friends so they can write these reminders down, and inside we can include a message about the greatest gift ever, Jesus, and our access to God through faith.
I love that idea, Zach.
Well, I gotta get started because I don't have a lot of time left. I will see you later, John and Jean, and you guys too. Bye, Rest City Kids.
Bye, Zach. Well, friends, what do you say we do our memory verse one more time for this month before we go? Yeah? Awesome. I was hoping you'd say that. Let's stand up and get ready. Come on.
Welcome to Memory First Time. It is so good to see all of you, and I am loving our episodes this month. But I will say, I am loving our memory verse even more. This month's verse is Luke 2:14. It says, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth, peace to those on whom his favor rests." Now, let's get this one memorized with some motions. Move number 1, you're gonna raise both arms up, kind of like you're worshiping. Perfect. Now, move number 2, with your arms still up there, all you gotta do is wave them back and forth, kind of like you're painting the sky with your arms. Awesome job. Move number 3, you're gonna bring our arms back down, and we're gonna point to the ground. And then move number 4, I'm just gonna need y'all to make the peace sign with your fingers. Yeah, all right, guys, now let's put some words to these. Ready? Here we go. Luke 2:14. Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth, peace to those on whom his favor rests. So good. All right, one more time, but a little bit faster. Ready? Okay. Luke 2:14. Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth, peace to those on whom his favor rests. Wow, this verse is just so full of joy. And what a better time to spread joy than Christmas time. Make sure to share this verse with everyone this season. All right, now you guys have a great day.
Great job on your memory verse this month. Well, I think Zach could use some more help. But don't ever forget, Christmas isn't about fancy gifts, big parties, or special dinners. It's about remembering the story of Jesus coming to the earth to give us access to God through faith. It is a pretty big deal. And you can share this amazing news as a gift to everyone you know. Well, I better go get to Zach. I hope you guys have the best rest of your day. Hey there, family. We hope that you enjoyed today's Rust City Kids experience. Here at Rust City, we know church and parenting both go beyond, and I mean way beyond Sunday mornings. Your child's relationship with the Lord takes time to cultivate and develop. The famous saying is, it takes a village, right? Being connected to our kids is so important. And also, we would love to connect to you and partner with you and encourage you as a family throughout the week. You can stay connected by downloading our app and signing up for our parent email on our website. These emails have encouragements from our kids' pastors, activities to do at home, notifications about upcoming events, and so much more. Be sure to check out this month's parent guide while you're on the website. It breaks down all that we covered in the month. Also, you can utilize the Big Show note sheet on our website to help you and your kiddos follow along throughout the online service. Check it out. Have a great week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.